Welcome to Home Team Advantage. I'm Gary Gimbetti along with Mike Egan. We're back after a 2-week hiatus because Mr. Egan here went down to Florida, and I guess it wasn't the greatest trip in the world, was it?
Cold. Not as cold as here, but you get a high of 50.
Yeah. And people are playing those small little violins, and you're in the 50 degrees and we're below zero.
Yeah,
but
and, they're down there playing pickleball with gloves on.
yeah,
30s at night.
Yeah, I feel real bad for them down there. Yeah. So, but
Yeah,
hey, it's nice to have you back.
It's nice to visit, but boy, if you want traffic, go to Florida. You got to sit at a stoplight for at least 25 minutes.
Really? Why is that?
Just the amount of people have moved at it.
Oh. So you could have a green light and you're still sitting there
You're
for
still
20
sitting
minutes.
there waiting for it to change. Yeah, it's
Wow.
something else.
Boy, the things we talk about on this show or something.
Hey, we cover the world.
But we do have some. We have after not being on the air for 2 weeks, we have some sports to talk about. I don't know how well we'll cover them, but
Yeah, we'll do our best.
we always try.
Same old story.
Well, yeah,
Unfortunately.
it's boys hockey got beat by Hermantown the other night, 8-1, which is unfortunate because now that was the barometer game right there for them to see where they are this year, and maybe they're just too young yet to. I wasn't there, and I'm not gonna. I heard some talk this morning about what might have happened, but I'm not going into it because I wasn't there and I don't know. But it's unfortunate. They got 4 goals in the first period, and that pretty much sealed their fate.
Yeah. It sounds like Hermantown just kind of intimidated them with their ability, their speed, and 8-1. That's a tough one.
Well, and I don't know why they'd be intimidated because they can skate, they can hit, I'm sure they can skate with them. I don't think that should be an issue. So
Well, I guess I've always said, and I think you would agree with me, that there's a big difference when you're playing, sophomores against seniors and vice versa. That 2 years is a big deal when it comes to the physicality. Well, you like that, the physicality.
yeah,
I've been watching football.
yeah, you have.
The physicality side of the game.
And hopefully, I hate to say, maybe I'm saying this somewhat facetiously or not, but I'm hoping that they didn't really show it. Well, obviously they didn't show them that much.
Right.
So just in case they happen to meet in the sections, hopefully it'll be a better game.
Yeah.
But that's too bad.
Look at the Olympic team, in 1880 Olympic team, they got beat 10-1 by the Russians, a week before the Olympic Games, and then they beat them during the Olympics. So you never know.
Yeah.
Just hopefully they're competitive.
But Proctor, the issue I have is Proctor lost to Hermantown 2-1 in overtime, I think.
Okay.
And I thought, well, we beat Proctor. I don't think handily, but it wasn't. I don't think that game was ever in doubt. But that kind of gave you some hope that if Proctor could hang with them, that maybe we could hang with them.
Maybe it was just their night. You never know.
Yeah, possibly. And they did call like 10 penalties on us that night.
Wow.
And who knows what I don't even. I'd love to get into refereeing, but I would probably make a lot of enemies if I ever did that. Maybe when I'm done working.
You can be the next Babe.
Yeah. Because I'm not getting into it. So, but they do play tonight against North Shore here in Hibbing at 7:00. So if you see this show today, it's at 7:00 tonight, and I think they're on the road Saturday. I'm not sure. I haven't looked that far ahead. And then I think they're home on Monday, if I'm not mistaken. So,
They must not have too many games left.
well, no, they probably do. The girls, I think, are down to 3.
Okay.
So
Maybe
they
that's
only
what I'm
have
thinking of
3
the girls'
games,
program.
I think,
Okay.
because they start so early in November and October that their season's almost.
Coming to playoffs.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's unbelievable to think that it seemed like it just started, and they only have like 3 games left. And I don't think any of those games are at home. I think they're all on the road. So,
Oh.
you know, and then getting into them, the girls hockey team lost to Cloquet 4-2 the other night. I had a 1-0 lead going into the third period, and gave up 4 unanswered goals, and that kind of sealed their fate as
Yep.
well. So, and one was a penalty shot, which I found out this morning was actually a true penalty shot, because again, officials.
Yeah.
I don't know. They called a penalty on our goalie for tripping somebody, and I'm like, really? You're gonna call penalty on a goalie for tripping somebody? I don't get it, but hey, it was. And the guy I talked to seemed to think that it was legit. So, okay,
I bet he's an
go with it.
official.
No,
Oh.
no, he's not an official. So that's the way it goes there. I mean, they beat Northern Lake 7-2, so we better throw some positivity in there with that. So they did beat Northern Lakes. They actually got the lid off the front of the net, and
Yeah.
I think Audrey Miner, who's like she's either a freshman or an 8th grader, scored 4 goals
Wow.
in that game. I think Ani Bobin might have had a couple goals. Of course, she's a senior, so they had senior night the other night against Cloquet, and they have 4 of them. So they all play their final
Good.
games at the Memorial Building, and hopefully, good luck to them in their future. Of course, Ani's got softball coming up, so
Yeah. Well, contrary to the way we come off on this show talking about the athletics at the high school, it's a down year, all the way around. Every program's, but there's a lot of young talent involved, so maybe that their fortunes will change as they get a little more experience and a little more.
stronger
Stronger.
and more mature
If
and
you go to
stuff
the
like
weight
that.
room.
Yeah, you know, and the girls basketball team played Proctor the other night. They had an 11-9 lead. I walked in, I was at the hockey game, and it was 0-0 after 1, and then I left to go over to the basketball game. And I walked into the gym, and I'm looking up at the scoreboard, and it was 11-9 with like 5 minutes left in the first half.
Oh wow!
And I'm like, okay, well, that's the way it goes, I guess.
Somebody put a lid on the hoop.
Well, and then in that last 5 minutes, Proctor went on to like a 32-2 run.
Oh geez.
So they're up like 41-13, 42-13 at the half. And it was just a matter of turnovers. Their teams are going to pressure you until you learn how to,
Break the press.
yeah. And I don't think it's that difficult to break a press, but I'm not out there playing.
Right.
So I don't know. It's easy from the cheap seats to sit there. But if it's 2 or 3 passes. The one time they did it, they got the ball inbounds under the basket. Kate Toohey went just over half court. They threw it into her at half court, and then she hit one of the trailers going up the sideline and broke it. That's what you do.
Right.
Do it every time. And then once you get a couple or 2 or 3 layups on it, they're going to pull the press off, and you're never going to have to worry about it again. So, you know, that's the issue is the turnovers.
I know when I was playing basketball back when we used to shoot at that old apple cart that used to hang on the wall. We were always taught, always bring the ball to the middle. Never go to the corners. Always go to the middle.
And there's the perfect example there is that's what they do. They take the ball up, and then they go to just get over half court, and there they are,
Yep.
trapped in the corner, and there's really nothing I mean, obviously somebody's open because they're double teaming you. You just can't panic.
Right.
You got to know where everybody is on the court, and if your teammates aren't getting to the open spots, then that's on them.
Yep. And there's always a 50-50 chance that somebody reaches in to try to get the ball from you. You're going to get the foul call.
Well, yeah, but see, that's where I can get into officiating again because that's not happening. And you know, if their arms aren't straight up,
They're reaching.
they're reaching,
Yeah.
and they're not calling fouls. So that's the thing, and you're taught to keep your hands straight up. You're not supposed to reach in, but they don't call it. So,
But we support all the officials in what they do, and it's a tough job.
oh yeah.
We don't want our 2 officials calling us, sending us emails.
Well, no, we don't, and they're all great guys. Every one of
Yeah.
them, I know every one of them, and they're all great guys, and I applaud them for out there because they're out there doing the job.
that nobody else wants to do.
Yeah, and you take a lot of, can I say, grief. Okay, I'll say grief.
Oh yeah,
I get it. It's no fun.
I officiated for years. I found out my ancestry from people in the stands. I never knew who my parents were.
Did that shock you then, or what?
No, it just surprised me.
So yeah, because Hibbing had a game, one of their boys basketball games called off because they couldn't find officials.
This year?
Yeah, just last
Really?
week or the week before.
Well, they should have called us.
Yeah, I'm sure that would have helped.
Oh, might have slowed the game down with us running up and down the court.
No, that's true. If the 30 seconds or 35 seconds they get on the shot clock would take us to get up the
Get up
court.
the court.
So there wouldn't be many fouls called there. But they were supposed to get officials out of Duluth, and evidently
Yep.
for some reason they couldn't show up, so the game got postponed. And
Back in my younger days, I did officiate a lot of games in Hibbing, but I remember working with one older official at the time, and he'd stand at half court, and I'd have to run back and forth from baseline to baseline.
before the 3-man
I won't mention who it was.
So I mean that game will be made up. I can't remember who they were supposed to play that night.
Wow.
But it'll be made up, and Hibbing does play tonight. The boys basketball team plays tonight against Grand Rapids, 7:15 at the Lincoln.
It's a pretty good game.
We got a hockey game tonight at 7, and we got a boys basketball game at 7:15. And I get you, and this is all said jokingly, but it's like I can only be in
One place.
one place at one time. I'm not cloned. I'm sure nobody wants to see me cloned.
Yeah.
But so I got to try. Now I got to try to fit in another basketball game with a hockey game. Yeah, because I'm not gonna. That's not the way I'm wired.
Right.
I mean, I know you make fun of me a lot on this show, but
Yeah, now it makes me feel bad.
yeah, okay. No, I know you don't feel bad. I know you're joking, but so now I got to run back and forth from the arena to the Lincoln.
You actually run?
Well, no, I would if it was nice out, but I got to shut my truck off, go in, watch a period of hockey, then I got to go back out in the cold and start it up and drive it 0.3 of a mile,
Yeah.
and then shut it off again. And I'm sure that's probably not very good for the engine, but
Might be running.
well, I possibly
You're
could.
like somebody would take it.
Well, no, I do have an automatic start on it, so I don't have to leave the keys in it. So.
We're the only show in history of television that jumps from car starting to basketball. To hockey.
So and my point was they got to do a better job of scheduling. And I know I'm joking. I'm joking because I know you can only schedule games when you have the opportunity to schedule them.
Well, it's pretty much a given fact that high school winter sports are played on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm sorry, Tuesday and Fridays with basketball.
Well, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and those are usually set for Hibbing. Are usually Tuesday, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, and a lot of the smaller schools schedule them for Monday. So it's not like Hibbing does not have a lot of Monday games, but they do. I mean, they've had a couple this year, but
Speaking of basketball, I see Cherry is ranked #1 in the state. They
I
had the big game last week, I think, against ESCO. The two #1 prospects for the University of Minnesota going after one another.
well, Parrish was not there.
Well, I thought he played.
No, he enrolled early.
Oh, he did leave then.
Yeah, so
Okay.
he's gone. That's what I understand.
Okay.
So he enrolled early at the U so he can play, I suppose, this spring, play in spring ball. So I mentioned that, and I think, I can't remember if it was Turner that told me that he left early,
Okay.
or somebody did. I don't know who, I can't remember now, but, so I believe he was gone. So he did not play in that game, which is unfortunate for ESCO. I mean, you're losing a pretty good athlete.
Yeah, because I think they were ranked, 8th or something at the time, and Cherry was 1. So, anyways.
And they've beaten some. I mean, I'm sure they've beaten some quality teams. I know they play like Solon Springs. I don't know how. That's obviously out of Wisconsin,
Okay.
but they play them this weekend down at some classic that they're at. So, well, they deserve. They're they're not undefeated. So
No.
I don't know. There must not be any undefeated
I
teams.
think they got 2.
Yeah, something
Moscow.
like that. Yeah.
Anyways, boys swimming.
Yeah, that's they did not compete at the True Team meet this year, which was last weekend in Grand Rapids, because I think he just had too much illness.
Okay.
So he was giving them the weekend off, and so they didn't go down over to Rapids. And they haven't swam in a bit, and I don't know when the next time they're swimming is, to be honest, because I know it's not this week.
I had an opportunity to talk to Coach Rangiano last night, and the problem is they just can't get the boys to come out and swim. And it's just, what do you do?
Mm-hmm. Well, and then one of his better swimmers is not on the team this year, which would have helped.
Right.
It would have helped the relays and some individual events, but they're seniors, and they must not. They just don't have the heart. Don't have it in their heart to do the work and that stuff. So that's the way it goes. But yeah, he needs bodies, no doubt, boys and girls.
I think every program at the school needs more participation, and there's a lot of kids, as we've mentioned for the 7 years we've been here, there's a lot of kids in that school walking the hallway that could be part of a program and just be part of something so you're not going home every day and flopping your ass in front of the TV and or playing your video. Oh, did I say the wrong word again? Sorry.
No, you can say TV.
Oh, okay. I can say TV instead of television. Or in front of your video
The
game.
5-second bleep.
Yeah, in front of your video game. And it just, yeah.
We need more pride
Well, it's a
in
different,
our athletics.
It's a different, granted, households are different now than they were 10 years ago. We got a lot of, single parent homes now, and both parents working homes, and it's tough. It is tough, but I've always said, and you've always said, that being a part of a team, whether you're a starter or the 10th guy on a 10-man team, it's a team, and you make friendships and camaraderie there that you'll live with the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
So, you're a prime example. You played softball with your group of guys, and you guys had your reunion this spring, right, or this summer?
Last June we had it.
Yeah, and then you're going to plan on doing another one. So
We're renting a suite out in August for our Twins game.
yeah.
So we're all going to meet down there in August.
So there's got to be that. There's that tendency. How does a word? I can't think of it.
If you're like me, you can't think of words
But
sometimes.
there's that, and something there that grows with a team and with your teammates that you'll never lose.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only going to help you as you get further on in life with jobs and I don't know. Here I go.
Well, no, and the unfortunately after the funeral last week, a lot of those guys from the softball team came up
Okay.
for it, and they were supporting Bobby and the Nybergs and the Bugliosi's,
Yep.
and it was kind of fun seeing them again. It's always because we're not getting younger.
No,
We're
No,
definitely not getting younger.
that we're not.
So we got to get together, take every moment is precious, and enjoy life.
Give up a few hours of your week and participate in sports. That's the way I look
Yeah.
at it. And it seems like, it's not like you're giving a quart of blood.
And now, okay, we'll start going to wrestling.
Yep.
Ian Larrabee's won the 285-pound title at Mora a week or two ago, and then this last weekend he won the 285-pound title in Elk River.
Great.
So he's wrestling well.
On his way to state, hopefully.
Well, I'm sure he will. I saw him the other night at the hockey game, and I said, "You don't weigh 285 pounds, do you?" And he goes, "No." So I go, "Well, how the heck are you winning that? How are you beating those guys?" He goes, "Mentally and just being a good wrestler."
Being smarter.
Yeah, that's what it is. And Cooper Hendrickson was second, I believe, in Elk River, and his weight class, I think, was 172. So they got that, and I heard they're filling their lineup up. So
Good.
They're getting guys out, and
Good. And the girls.
they have girls, but I haven't heard much about the girls, where they've been wrestling or what they've been doing.
They have a weight class for us?
I can't think of a good comeback for that one. That's why you're the only one that does. You have all the comebacks or all the quips, and I can't come up with any. So, yeah, I would say nowhere, but yeah,
Can you see the two of us on wrestling tights?
no, that'd be no, like being in a Speedo for swimming.
Wow.
No, not good.
Those dangling parcels.
Yeah, yeah, and the skiers have been out. They've done. I think they've done well. Sylvie Wetzel and who's the other one? Well, Hilda Nucky, I believe, are skiing well for the girls, and then Logan Maxwell skiing well for the boys, and but there's a lot of tough competition in the skiing because teams from the cities come up and all that. So
Well, at least they got a little snow to ski on, right?
yeah, and they ski I think Saturday over in Cloquet at Mont Dulac, if that's the hill over there. So
Okay.
Good luck to them. And I think that
Oh, we had left is the college basketball boys.
college,
Men, I
yeah, the
should say.
men. I've heard that they might be hiring a women's coach for next year.
Good.
I don't know for sure, but I've heard two names thrown out. I won't throw them out here, but because I don't remember one of them. That's getting 64 years old. The mind's not like it used to be. So,
Among other things.
yeah. But I know they took on Rainy River last. They let two games. I think. Well, Central Lakes is a good team. They play pressure defense, and
Yep.
they lost that game at home, and then they took on Mesabi Range last Wednesday and got beat by them in a fairly close game. But they let two conference games, slip through their fingers. They went to Rainy River last night, and Rainy River, in their 3 conference games, was averaging 117 points a game.
Wow.
And then in their other 12 games total, they averaged 99.9 points a game. So I haven't heard how they did yet,
No.
but I'm assuming they had to play some pretty good defense to slow Rainy River down. So,
Run and gun.
and then they play this weekend, I think, in Vermilion on Saturday. So,
There's no concerts or anything coming up at the school this time of year, right?
Nope.
Okay.
that takes care of all that.
By the way, someone came up to me last week after we had Ron on the show, and they said, he should be up there more often.
Hmm?
Oh, I did. Oh, that's number one? He had a little class to the show.
Oh, yeah, he would.
A little.
It's a little.
And a little more beauty. He's a lot
Yeah.
better looking than we are.
By the way, that other problem that you have with the functioning of the brain, they do make pills for that.
Oh, okay.
Plus the other problem, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that problem, yeah. The 4-hour problem?
Yeah,
Okay. Oh,
kind of like this show. Wow.
oh,
All right, let's go. Professional sports.
Timberwolves,
Timberwolves are
29
hard to
and what?
believe that they're the only good team we got right now.
Yeah. Because nobody after the trade they made last year, it didn't work out well. Of course, Towns was hurt for 52 games. But this year, Towns and Gobert and Naz Reid they're lighting it up.
Yeah.
And then obviously with Mike Conley and Anthony Edwards and Jaden McDaniel.
At Naz Reid, I happened to watch the game when I was down south. Not only does he play well inside, the guy can shoot the three.
Yeah.
And Towns, granted, I don't like the style of basketball that's played in the NBA right now because it's run and gun and three, boom, that's
Yeah.
all they do. But yeah, they're doing well.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, get off base there. I at one game earlier, this high school game, I talked to the Deer River coach, and he told me directly that he's not a big fan of the 3-pointer.
Yeah.
So that's the only coach I've ever heard say that. And I kind of started to laugh and I go, I kind of agree with you on that one. But yeah, no, I keep saying when they hired Finch as their coach, whatever it was 3 years ago, I was like, does this guy know what he's getting into?
Yeah, I remember when they first hired him, you said that here's a guy nobody even knew who he was, but does he know what he's getting into?
They couldn't shoot the three. I honestly, I didn't think Naz Reid was that good. I didn't think Jared Vanderbilt was that good, and I didn't think Jaden McDaniel was that good. They proved me wrong.
Yep.
I'm more power to him. Naz Reid's turned into one heck of a player. So was McDaniel. Now Vanderbilt's not with us anymore, but when he was, he even improved a lot.
And Gobert. I mean, the guy's he's an all-pro.
He didn't have a great year last year, but this year, whatever he did over the summer, it put another spark, lit a spark under him, and he's been dominant underneath the boards, on the boards and the blocks. And he's like almost at the top of the league in dunks, which I can't believe that they even keep a stat on that. But I guess they keep a stat on everything.
Stat on everything.
Yeah. So, and how many? I heard one stat. Now I can't remember that. I wish I could, but there was one stat. He was at the top of the league, but he's only like now they're doing the hack-a-shack on him.
Oh yeah.
Late in the games to get him on, and he made 4 clutch free throws at the end of that Clippers game, and that sealed the win. So hey. It's nice to have a team that wins 60%, 65% of the time, because one team that we have here isn't, and that's the Wild. And they've been so up and down this year. They
win 8 in a row, and then they lose 5 in a row, and then now they won again, and now they're going down to play Tampa tonight. I think it is.
Yeah, tonight in Florida. I think
the
tomorrow
better teams
night
in the NHL.
Yeah, so hopefully. They got to make up some ground. I mean, forget winning the Central Division or whatever.
Just get into the playoffs.
Just get enough points to get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking maybe they just need to get a top 5 draft pick and not get into the playoffs. And I hate to see it not get into the playoffs, but at some point we got to find a kid at the top of the draft that's going to make a difference. Because Kaprizov wasn't even a first-round pick, I don't think.
No.
He was like a 3rd-round pick.
They lack what every other team has, and that's a pure shooter.
Huh.
They don't have that. Kaprizov is one of the better players in the league, but he is not a pure goal scorer either.
And he doesn't shoot enough to become a pure goal scorer.
And he's not that big.
No, and they want that pretty goal all the time, and you're just not going to get it. Just shoot the puck. Shooting the puck on net causes chaos. And then you never know what might happen from there.
You always might get a bounce.
So.
Well, we're getting close to the end again.
Yeah. Well, it was nice to have you back.
We will mention the Vikings next time we meet.
Yeah, we'll talk. We'll talk a little bit.
We'll talk about the big trade.
Big trade. So for Mike Egan, I'm Gary Gimbetti. We'll see you again next week on Home Team Advantage.
For over 25 years, U.S. Bank, located at 211 East Howard Street in Hibbing, Minnesota, has provided office and studio space for Hibbing Public Access Television. We are thankful for their ongoing support.